And now we move on to Trino. Got some important shopping to do here, and advancing the plot. That's most of what this segment is about. We start off by choosing to watch this optional ATE, because doing so is a prerequisite for getting a power belt. This power belt is so important that even any percent speedrunners get it, despite how much extra time it takes to watch the ATE and then go get it. It's just that useful. Also, it's a treasure, so we have to get it for the perfect game's sake. So here's that power belt, taking it from the thief. And since we're already here, we go to the synthesis shop. I synth as many cotton robes as I can, plus desert boots, cachucha, coral ring, and gold choker. But I bought the cachucha in addition to the things that the Excalibur 2 Perfect Game Guide suggests, because it's very useful, because it has ability up. And Freya will need this in order for her to learn all the things that I want her to learn. And also the girls, Dagger and Eco, will be able to make use of it later. Now this Moogle, you should be able to catch him if you're quick, before he flies to the other side. If you can catch him there, you can save a bit of time. Here I sell cotton robes, making sure to save one, and then buy a bunch of stuff here. And you'll notice that I bought one extra of the bandanas and chainmails over what the guide says to buy. For the bandanas, someone suggested at one point, I don't remember who it was, that you can buy an extra bandana and then sell a silk robe later for a net profit of a couple thousand. So I'm doing that here. And then I buy the extra chainmail for a purpose that will be better understood later. So now we get to the griffin fight. First thing you want to do is throw a tent to inflict the blind, silence, and poison. This makes this fight much more manageable, because you need very high amounts of luck to be able to beat this griffin without a tent. So once it's crippled, just do a couple attacks and you'll win. Now we'll go to pick up Dagger. You're forced to watch an ATE here. Now previously we thought that it would be faster to manually trigger the ATE by pressing select, but that turns out to actually not be the case, because of the extra screen loading that would happen if you manually trigger it. Whereas if you let it trigger automatically, then it's already transitioning to the next screen anyway, so you don't have to load the same screen again. Normally, also, the Excalibur 2 Perfect Game Guide has you go to the auction house and buy several things. But I'm skipping all of that, because I already have the Robe of Lords, so it's gonna do just fine in substitute of all the other things that you would get there. So I save a good amount of time and money by skipping that. And now we're going to go steal the Super Soft to go save Blank. unlike text boxes, this text cannot be skipped by mashing really hard. You just have to push X at the end of each little bit of dialogue that comes up. Although you might want to mash throughout it just to be safe. And it turns out Dr. Todd is going to give us the super soft instead. So now we'll go see him. Now, none of the treasure here in Trino is missable, but I picked up the gill earlier, and I'm picking up this mithril dagger here just because they're along the way, and they're worth a decent amount. Picking up this mithril dagger here means I don't have to buy one. Now at this point you have to be careful not to challenge Tot to a card game. So only press X there, not square. And now we get a flashback of Garnet as a kid. One thing I should mention is that the Excalibur 2 Perfect Game Guide, before you come here, has you go back to Dolly to start another cotton rope trick. But I consider this to be a huge waste of time. You can do it if you want the extra money, but it doesn't really matter. And we deliver this letter and save.